Hi everyone, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in today's video I want to talk about a recent poll I posted where I asked, do you think eggs are a healthy daily breakfast? And what I found interesting is that the majority of people said yes, definitely. But at the same time, there were also some people who said no, mainly because of cholesterol. And others said it depends and left comments underneath, usually referring to how the eggs are prepared or what they're eaten with. And I think that this is the most important factor too, so it really depends on the context. Now, from my experience, eggs on their own are a very simple whole food, but the way they're often eaten can look very different. Because in many cases, it's not just about the eggs fried in a pan or boiled in water, it's everything that comes with them. For example, you might have eggs together with things like pancakes, and then you add syrup, honey or jam on top, which suddenly adds a lot of sugar. Or you might combine them with processed sausages or heavily processed bread from the supermarket with a long list of ingredients. Or maybe you even have them all together. Best case, you also have a bit of vegetables or fruit on the side. But the overall meal becomes something very different because you are no longer eating eggs as the main part of your meal, but something else which is very high in sugar and processed or even ultra-processed foods. In the past, I was doing this myself a lot. I also paired eggs with supermarket bread or bread rolls and basically had nothing on the side. Or just some sweetened coffee or chocolate milk. And maybe another bread roll with a bit of cheese, jam, honey, or sometimes ham, but the egg was still kind of lonely. And I'm sure many of you watching this have been there as well with similar combinations. Maybe you are even doing that still today. And that can turn it quickly from healthy into unhealthy. But if you leave this aside, eggs can be a really healthy and satisfying breakfast if you simply prepare them with a bit of real butter or some good oil like macadamia oil, for example, whether that's scrambled, sunny side up, or as an omelette, or even just boiled. And then pair them with something like a piece of traditionally made bread and some fruit or vegetables. And that already makes it a very different meal. And I mean, even something like a simple homemade pancake on the side can work well too. Because if it's made in a basic way, it's usually just a combination of ingredients like flour, eggs, milk, maybe a little bit of baking powder, and a pinch of salt and sugar. So in that sense, it's not that much different from having traditionally made bread. It only becomes a different situation when you start adding large amounts of things like syrup, honey, jam, or sugar on top. Because that's when the overall meal changes again. Now personally, I like to have eggs, usually 2 or 3, with seasonal fruit and vegetables and a piece of sourdough bread. It's a very simple way to put a meal together, and for me it works really well as a way to start the day. So in the end, eggs themselves are not really the issue. It's the context in which they're eaten that makes the biggest difference. So I hope this could give you some new ideas. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!